Hello and welcome to a video about how to climb Mount Everest roleplay and tips and tricks to know how easy it is to climb this mountain. Yeah, awkwardness. Once you spawn here, you will be greeted with a sign that says Everest Base Camp and a little pop-up thing that says Open Inventory. You can open inventory everywhere as long as you're in the camp zone. As you see up here, storage access is no longer available, backpack only. So, out here, I can't pick up anything. I can't move that stuff over there. But once I'm in the Everest Base Camp, which almost every camp on the mountain has this. Well, every camp on the mountain has this. And once you press tab again, you can now shuffle the stuff out. So, with the inventory stuff, once you're in the inventory slot, you'll notice I have only one item here and this all over here. There's backpacks and armbands. The armbands are for when you're in an expedition, which I'll show you later. Which I actually don't think it's in this game. It's probably not, and it's probably okay. No, it is in this game. Well, we'll get to that later. And if I get all my stuff, you noticed you're carrying too much weight and all that stuff. I'm stuttering so hard today. Your weight exceeds 20 kilograms if you have too much stuff. Too much stuff. And if you have too much stuff, you'll go really, really slow, which makes it really, really hard to get up the mountain. And if you are at the death zone where your oxygen is kind of limited, you'll die. You won't make it. At least I don't think. I've never tried. But you get the starter satchel at the beginning of the game, and you can use it to carry more items. Now look how I have 40 kilograms, and I can walk just perfectly fine. And that's the inventory system for you, but you don't really need... That's not the most useful thing in the game. What is the most useful thing in the game is oxygen flow and water. If you don't have enough water, say this gets to 0, you'll start to take damage and you will die. You can refill your water by just clicking or holding E to get water. You can use your water bottle to drink, but it'll slowly run out of water. water. You can refill it, or if you say you made it in time and you don't need to drink out of the water bottle, you just hold E and boom, you're all good to go. The oxygen flow is mainly when you're really high up on the mountain. But say I turn my oxygen flow on over here, and boom, I'm starting to lose oxygen. After a while, you start to... This will become 99. That's going to take a while, but... Because we're at lower altitude, and it's going to keep our oxygen. Make sure it's off when you start climbing on the mountain, because I've made many mistakes like that where I'm climbing up the mountain. It's like, oh, I can just turn on my oxygen, and all of a sudden my oxygen's really low. So make sure your oxygen is off. Here is the oxygen refill tank. Press E to do it. It's instant, and it's not like the water where you can use a drink like that. It's just simple. I do it every time I go up the mountain. Make sure it's safe. And you go to this little thing right here. It says outfits. And then once you get to it, it says manage outfits. Once you click to it, not to brag, but I have the blue one. Simple. We're starting with this one. The shirt does not really matter. Once you get up to the top of the mountain, it doesn't really matter what skin you have. But it definitely shows if you're cool enough. It shows like, oh yeah, I have the blue one. Oh yeah, I have the green one. Yeah, I'm so cool. Let's just start with the red one because it doesn't really matter. This is the search and rescue and Sherpa tents. That's in a Game Pass, which, once again, I recommend Sherpa. Well, I actually recommend Guide more because it gives you the less amount of stuff with a cheaper amount. Is science. So, once you get to like the trailhead of the route start of Mount Everest, which is pretty simple to get into. It's just one way. It's hard to get lost. As you climb up into the mountain, there's ladders, and some of the ladders are slippery. That's normally when you get to the top. Closer to the top, it starts getting slippery. Unless I'm talking about a different game. Who knows? I recommend with the ladder is to, if there's multiple people on the ladder, try to space you out a little bit so you can actually see where you're stepping. It's not the worst thing in the world. It's not like real life where you're going, and you fall down. If you're pretty sketchy about the ladder and you have the rappel, I recommend placing down a rappel, clicking down, and while you click down, go up. And I'll show you why the rappel is pretty cool. Say, oh no, I fell. You don't take as much damage. It's also, I probably should have left it up there. But say, oh no, you fell and there's no way back up. Well, since you had the rappel, all you need to do is press this up button, and you're going to go up instantly and where you started. Be careful not to do it too much, or you'll start glitching out, and you can't move anywhere. And eventually, it's too stiff, but if it's on the ground, you start to freak out. It's not too big of a deal, but if you're on a slope, you probably don't want that to happen. It doesn't matter where you go in the Kumbu Ice Falls. I tend to go on this one where it leads directly towards the top. Well, to the end of it, because faster. You'll notice there's a red line, and that kind of shows you where everything is. And because some parts on the mountain, it gets a little hard to see. Say there's an avalanche or a snowstorm. You can't see anything, and these lights do not help. It just makes life a little bit easier, just to see where you're at. There's no jumping in this game, by the way. Yeah, you can't jump, which makes parkour harder. But it also adds a little bit of realism to the game. Even though most of the ladders are super unrealistic, but it's still fun. Yeah. A little something about the climbing feature of this game, climbing ladders, is that if you look to the side while climbing, you could fall off. You could also use this if you press shift or do the shift lock. Makes it a little bit easier to maneuver during very hard parts to climb. But you probably want it off while you're climbing. Because say like, oh, I want to look this way, you're going to fall off. Like I almost did. We're making it closer to Camp 1. It gets easier the further like slopey it gets. Ish. It actually gets harder the higher you go, but once you're done with like a big part, it gets easy once you get closer to the camp. Some people like to say, hey, I'm at Camp 1 with the radio. But the radio doesn't really help. It's more of a... Well, it helps with search and rescue. It's like, oh my god, I'm lost. But it definitely helps you communicate with people. I don't really use it that much. Because I go alone half the time. Or I just follow other people. Or they follow me. I don't really care. It's simple. You don't need many people to climb up the mountain. We have made it to Camp 1. You can heal by using this campfire. It's very slow. Super slow. But it's something. And when you're at the camp, perfect example of when you don't have water or you're running low, you don't need to drink your water bottle when you're here. You can just refill, and it refills your thing. It's like drinking out of the faucet, basically. I just had a voice crack. Sorry for that. Once you're all full on health, you can get water once again. I like to get full on water just because it's nice to have 100% all the time. And once you're up, you'll see that there's this dark rocky bit. It kind of shows you where you're at. It makes the game a little bit quite a bit easier, so you know actually where you're going. So with this part, I recommend shift lock. You don't have to have it. As you can see, that person fell. But unless you keep on straight, what is this person doing? I should probably give this person a little bit of space. Because in this part, you want to go doot doot doot. But you can also just speed run it. It's actually better to speed run it. Just not stopping. Because then you get it over with. Because glitches are less prone to happen if you're on there for the short amount of time. And this game kind of gets glitchy. There's been a lot of patches recently and makes it a lot better. The game gets easier as you go up. No, as it gets older. And don't be feared about these big long ones. They can get anxiety inducing for newcomers, but they're not that hard. You don't need to repel for them. You just need to stay straight. Stay going straight. There's someone behind me. These ones are the hard ones. What is this guy? We'll make it together. I don't know this guy. This one, I recommend just going straight for it and just going in a straight line, but you wiggle too much, you can fall down. Let me heal up a little bit. I'm gonna drink some water while I do that. That guy also drinks some water. Wow, it was perfect timing. I don't think I need full health. I'm good. I'm good on health. So that's why I just recommend one at a time and don't go slow. Just go boop 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 boop. I don't know what this guy's talking about. But yeah, preferably one at a time because it gets more glitchy the more people on it. Ah! Just like that. Well, it's okay. That was mostly my fault. I wanted to speed run this. This may take a bit. Yeah, I don't need help. I have repel. That's not even the hardest part, and I fell. Oh, that really says something about the man. Gonna wait for them a little bit, get some water. I like to do it just because sometimes I forget. These parts are a little sketchy because they're sloped, but they won't slip. You won't slip off, but you will teeter a little bit, and you need to like angle yourself a little bit. It gets all thing, but you'll get used to it after a while. You can hear my keyboard. It's funny. I might turn that down a little bit. Yeah, that's better. You can still hear it. No, you're fine. I have loud keyboard. Oh, the people left me. It's okay. I don't need them. I'm alone. Oh, I guess they didn't leave me. That's good. I remember when this game used to... There was not as many ladders. Oh, oxygen. This is why you need oxygen. Oh, and I also earned money. Money. I earned $3 from climbing. That's why I recommend just going up a little bit. And doesn't matter if you die a couple times. Doesn't matter if you die a lot of times. You'll get money, and then you'll be able to buy stuff. That's the beauty of the game. Ooh, this is the tough part. Oh my god, so hard. Oh god. Oh god. Boop, boop. Hacha, hacha. One at a time. It doesn't actually really matter if one at a time. It just... The eyesight gets a little tough. There's also a funny glitch if you put your, if you have FOV big enough or wide enough or something like that. I know it's something to do with the FOV, but if you have shift locked on, you can see through the walls a little bit. It doesn't help at all, but it's a cool little feature. Cool little glitch. It doesn't really help or take away from the game. Some parts of climbing this spot is if you fall, you're going all the way down. So this is why I recommend the rappel. Because say you're on a spot that looks pretty sketchy to you and you don't want to die. There's a spot up here that oh, like that. I'm going to use my rappel. I'm going to get healed up a little bit because that's no good if I fell. Okay, now I'm going. I'm pretty sure those people leaved me, but it's okay. Like this part. You can also place your things on here, I think. Yeah, you can. Wrong way. If you press Q, you can rappel. Q or E and stuff. Yep. Whoa. Yeah. I'm gonna put a thing on that because sometimes the more people that climb on the... Ooh, that guy fell quite a bit. I wish I could help him. But I can't. Should I leave him behind or should I not? That is the question. He's pretty good at this, and at least I think so. See something? It's just us. All died. Chips. Team Potato Hips. I like reading the chat. Yep, that's why you don't rush. You wait until the thing's done. I tend to rush quite a bit because... Ooh, we made it to Camp 2. We made it to Camp 2. Camp 2 is when it starts getting a little hard. Normally, in real life, you don't need oxygen at Camp 2. But for some reason, it's useful here. I'm gonna get some water after I heal up. Probably to 70 or something. Get some O's. Some fancy words. Fancy stuff. Like I was talking about. Certain parts of the thing is really easy. Certain parts are super hard. But at the end of it's totally worth it. It's worth it. All the way. I guess this person want more people. With my... Okay. up we go. Normally we would... No, that's Camp 3. I get confused sometimes. But, yay, we're on our way. You can also see where you're at via up here. Makes it a little bit easier as you go up the mountain. I think we're gonna be heading up to a climbing spot. So the climbing spots, the climbing spots or parts of this game are surprisingly easy, and it's basically impossible to die on it. But I'll show you if we get there, because there might not be even a climbing part. I might have said it a little bit early. It's okay. I'll figure it out. Oh, yeah, there was climbing parts. I knew it. So this climbing part of the game, it's pretty simple. All you need to do is go up, attach anchor, go up to the next point, attach anchor. It's really easy. There's not really a tough part about it. Go whoop. I actually don't remember this. Huh. They probably update the game. They update the game all the time, which is really cool. I really like it. And once you get to the top, this will say end climbing. And boom. End of climbing. Loud bang noises. I'm gonna drink some water, because that's cool. In-game. Like a snake. We're all going in one line. And boom. Made it across that little part. Little climbing stuff. And rest shelters. Rest shelters are perfect. They're like mini camps. And they just help you on the way. Say you fell a couple times and you need help. Just go right up. Go right to them. And boom, you're all healed up. Well, not all healed up. Some don't have heals. Most of them don't have heals. But you get oxygen and water for spending quite a bit of time on a certain part. I like it. Up the mountain we go. Ooh, snowstorms. I don't think this was announced. I'm not sure. Probably before I joined the game. But this is where it gets really foggy and you start to lose members. We already lost one. And this is where, like, if you have a big expedition with a buttload of people, buttload of your friends, you try climbing up the mountain, and all of a sudden, you all get lost. That's kind of what the beauty of the vision thing is that you really want to know where you're at all the time. Because, say, like, oh no, I can't see, I just fall off the ledge. Like up here, it starts to get a lot more steeper. And when it gets a lot more steeper, it gets a lot more harder. And you can fall off the ledge a lot easier. You notice how there's no more red stuff anymore? No more red lines? Well, that's because you're really high up and you don't need help anymore. You already made it. You're on a roll. You're a professional. You're a professional person. Dude. Yeah. Ooh, these. Yep. Made it top. So this is why I say some of the climbs or ladders get really risky, and you probably want the rappel. It's easy, makes it Makes it easy to fall, and if you do fall, you're not gonna fall down the mountain. Fall, 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 fall. Hoorah. These signs definitely tell you what to do. Narrow route ahead, it doesn't really matter. You're just going, it just gets a little narrow. Ooh, we lost one. We keep leaving this person behind. Must be a mobile user. Also on mobile, I used to play it on mobile a couple times, but if you get high enough, it'll fry your it will just boop and crash. Sometimes it used to do that. I'm not sure about it now. So we have made it to this part. Don't know what we're doing. We're halfway to Camp 3. Which is good. Yeah, it's a little boring. We made it to another climbing place. Like I was saying, this game gets a little... If you go for long enough, it's not the most entertaining to just like go through, because you get bored quite a bit. I recommend listening to music while you play it. It makes it a lot better. Or watching videos such as this one. A lot better when you have a lot of people. Feels a lot better when pushing people. If someone's worse than you or someone's better than you, you both feel like, oh, I can learn from this guy. Oh, this guy sucks, so I'm gonna help him. Makes life a lot easier. Especially these big ones. There's also a fun little shortcut that I found on this specific one at Alt 3692. If you go this way, start leaning this way a little bit, and you can get closer. Perfect for if you want to speed run. Sometimes you don't flip into it. Those guys are going that way, I'm going this way. As you traverse the terrain, you get up to here. Probably around the same time, because they made it, and so did I. They're also pretty ahead of me, and I stopped for a little bit. Yep, but it's still okay. We're all together now. All together now. I don't know, this place. We're making up a ladder. And if you're a little sketchy, or something's wrong with your character, I recommend just having the rappel on hand, and if you fall, all you need to do is click and save yourself. Especially with this. This part, visibility gets tough, and you start getting pushed off the ladder. I feel like we're gonna make it. I feel like these two are gonna make it. And if they don't, it's perfectly fine. There's some parts where it's gonna be pretty hard for this person, and I think that might be fine. This would be my 10th summit, which leaves me 5 more to the other Everest game, which is a lot more realistic and harder, but it's very glitchy, which makes it super hard to get a clear summit. I have summited it once. It is super hard. I've summited this night times. This one's easy-ish. It just wants you to have experience. Sometimes you need to look up to see if it's the right, if you're climbing up the right way. Make sure to drink some water a couple times, real life and in game. I'm just waiting for this guy, but make sure to like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. My first video. I just realized now. That guy died again. He didn't die. It's okay. We have enough oxygen. We're like literally right over there. And with the speed that we're going up, we're gonna make it. This guy has a little bit low health. It's okay. That's fine. And boom, made it. Earned $3 from climbing. Saving up for things. I'm trying to get the rescue rope so I can. Oh. We did it. Look how far up we are. Pretty high. And we have officially made it. To Camp 3. Let's go immediately to Camp 3 because I need some oxygen and some water. And a little bit. But unfortunately, there is no health here. There is no health. Which I think it makes it a lot more fun. And a lot more riskier. Because you can't take risks that much if you're at low health and you're at a high part of the mountain. We're all safe. Says that one. So I think I'm gonna get these guys the first summit of their lives. Cool thing with this, you can just jump off. That guy needs to try. You just boop. Oh. Oh no, she has to do it all over. You can also do it the same way. It optimizes a little bit of time, but it means you get a little more risky. It gets a little risky business. Like I said, this is highly unrealistic. Boop. I don't know why that. As you climb, visibility gets short as we cram together. We're in like a cave or something. Whoa, did not know that was the. Just jump. Yeah, I've always done that. I have never taken that route ever. Whoa. Press E on accident. gets a little bit harder. Oh, oxygen. These are these oxygen depots. This one only has oxygen. But this is where it gets a little tough because it's nighttime and you kind of need your little flashlight. Well, you don't necessarily need it. It gets a little... It just means, like, if you have your dimness down quite a bit. We made it... This one's the tough climb, because it goes on for a very long time. But it's not hard at all, you can't die from it. Unless you somehow do die from it. No oxygen or water. And that's the only things that can kill you. Super duper easy. Don't have to do much. Cool things about this. Oh, he's already made it. I did not know. Lag can get a little bit big. That's why I say take for bits. That happens sometimes. Especially when you see other people. That's not like it. But I think it eventually goes away. I probably have weird legs to them. Or maybe not. Down. So weird. We are almost at Camp 4. I'm pretty sure these guys are gonna make it, because I believe in them. And I'm actually not sure about that hard climb. I haven't seen it yet. Where it's like super duper hard to even get up. It may be coming up. I'm actually not sure. If it's not, you guys are safe and don't need to know that. If it's still here, well... I think they did a little bit of an update a couple days ago. This is where a lot of people like, I want to be free. Try to climb up even though it's not yet time to climb up. I guess they fixed that too. What? They fixed a lot of things really quick. Get water here. Ooh, I almost just walked off. Okay, come here. This is, I think this is where it is. This is the new climb. This is the easy climb. This goes around. But there's a ladder that's, personally, I think is one of the hardest ladders. Super duper difficult. You have to like align it in the perfect way, and if you fall, you die. That person is focusing on something. And so am I. That's what normally gets all the new players. Is that one. No one. Oh, and look how they're not wobbling. Oh, Jesus. I mean, I'm going to leave that out. Yep. I fell. It's okay. I'm good at this game. Totally. Probably should have used my thing. Yeah, this one got me out of nowhere. What you gotta do? Oh, that person also fell. Oh no, they didn't. There are other people. Where did they? Where are they? Oh, they're right there. I don't know what these are. Now the hard part's over. It gets easier. Ooh, I don't remember this. Tiniest little climb ever. We're halfway to this camp 4. Camp 4 to the summit. We have to do that all over again. In certain games, you don't actually even get to the summit. With every update, they make it easier, so I recommend trying to beat it as fast as you play down. Yep, I knew I needed it. That's why I recommend that. Anything that seems too sketchy, you don't have to climb. Oh, and this is where we get to the easy parts. My team just left me. I think so. Oh, this is sketchy. I don't like that. Whoop. I see her. She's over there. I'm not sure. I'm not gonna tell. I know let this guy kind of enjoy the moment at this point, because that must suck when you get to almost all the way to the top, and then you die. She could still be alive. Who knows? I'm letting this guy kind of enjoy a little bit. Give him some space. No! Noises! Oh no, I'm stuck. Climbing time. Okay, I'm just gonna swing across. Or go up this way. Oh, that works. Yeah, I think that guy summited. He's about to summit. Or he's... It'd be kind of cool if he was me. That would be a nice Samaritan. We are found her. She's still alive. No way. Well, that must not suck because she's still alive. That's actually really cool. Human spirit is forever. Science. Oh, Death Ridge. This one is really hard. I don't like this one. You wanna go? Just run. Oh my god, she did it. I thought she was gonna fall. I don't think I'm gonna fall. I'm really good. Come follow me. How did that guy not summon yet? He was literally a mile away. Or maybe he did. Did he just summon? Oh yeah, you did. We're right behind you, buddy. Right behind you. No one said he does win the race. Follow me. Oh my god, this person did it with $22, which is the starting amount. It is almost